All right, guys, hello and welcome once again. And I took probably about half of the wood from the hill and I loaded up the deck. The rest of it I put on here, but you can kind of see from some of these ends how the ground is here, which happens every year. This is why loggers take a month off generally, a couple weeks. But you can see just in a little bit of moving that I had to do with these, they started getting filthy again. So that's why I stop. All right, we got it all cleaned up. This bin was frozen. I couldn't get it out all day yesterday, so I'm gonna let it run and I'll just scoop it out at the end here. So All right, guys, so there we go. Another cord and a half done. Pretty good. Good feeling. As long as I can, like tomorrow is going to be a kind of a waste of a sentence here, but the way I figure it, no matter what happens here, if I can produce 1 cord, 2 cord, whatever it is, $300 in my pocket, down the road at least. So we are at the end of this conveyor. I figured I had a little bit more time, but it's not good. The little tabs that I had left, they're gone, and the only one that's really doing anything now is this little nubbin. So there you go, that little turd. So we got 1, 2 left, and this one's enough to catch it and bring it up. And what I've come to the conclusion, I think it's more or less the angle than anything, and the way that the wood might be smushing the other wood in. It might have peeled the end, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. It's a disposable product. And I do have another one, but the whole thing about it was I don't know how to fix this. And like Bert was saying, put some angle on this and redo it. But my biggest thing is I don't want to ruin what we've got underneath. Now I can use like a cage nut, something like that, strapping. But if I go and do a bolt on the back side, for 1, we see what it does on the other conveyor, and for 2, it's going to wear grooves through this conveyor tube, and I don't want to ruin future plans for it if I do decide to go with a chain and sprocket design or something of that nature. So I'm going to go and I'm going to look and try to figure out a solution to this. Now I don't know, maybe I can get away with just rivets, but it is flexible, it's all that stuff, and maybe I don't know, I'm at a loss with it. But it happened extremely fast. It ran beautiful, had no problems, probably till around the 30-hour mark. And then I started getting the sides were starting to come off. Now, if that has something to do with the amount of trash underneath it, that's why I did the pail system. And any time that it got filled up, I would try to, you know, get that stuff out of there. But like this arm right here, it's frozen basically where it sits because of the ice, the snow, everything else getting on it. So what I want to do is raise the machine up a couple inches, and I'm hoping that I can raise it up enough where it's at a comfortable height like it is now, but at the same time be able to lower this conveyor down a little bit more flat, because we're not at an extreme, I wouldn't say. And I mean, with that leg being actually on the ground, I think it would be sitting about where it generally should be, but there is a hill here towards the foundation, so it's kind of what it is. Now whether the angle is more than they recommend and that has something to do with it, that's whatever, but it works great. You guys were able to see this big old chunk of maple fall off there, and the fun when you cut it just a little bit too short. And realistically, it's about perfect for length. If you went lower, it would be too short, but when it gets on there sideways, it has a tendency to just bump into another log, and there you go. So future plans for this little bit of gold: Outdoors with the Morgans has a fire starter that they can't keep on the shelves, so I am looking into making a sawdust bag form like they have. They're the first channel, or just in general, that I didn't see it be made into cups. I didn't see it be made into like a brownie looking thing. I seen raw dust. So like taking a handful of this, throwing it in your fire just the way it is. If you want a little bit, you take a little bit. If you want, you know, 2 handfuls of the stuff, you do it. That's what I want to produce. I've got plenty of chips. I'm pretty sold on the road deal here. You can see everywhere where it's hard, I basically have chips on the ground now, probably because the frost isn't out. But layering this road, the road itself is beautiful, but once you get off the road, it's bad. So I think I'm going to keep using it for the road, but I do want to start experimenting with some wax. My wife got me hooked up with a couple different suppliers in the area, and I want to experiment with this soy wax. There's beeswax, and then there's Gulf, G-U-L-F, something like that, wax, that they say if you use that, it has a problem with leaving a residue in your chimney. So I want to stay as far away from that Gulf wax, or Golf, or however you want to say it, wax. But I'm going to experiment with the other ones. And like I said, as long as I can leave it in a dust form and not make it like a brick, I'm going to be happy with it. So I think that's going to be it. The clouds have started to form. The rain is coming, and we're going to have 2 days of it. So between tonight and tomorrow, looks like we might be in the Shaw shop. All depends on how the weather is when I wake up tomorrow. But once I get this out of here, the whole reason why I had to kind of hand move this, I don't want to touch. When a customer buys a chunk of wood and we agree to the chunk of wood, if I do anything, I add to it. I don't, you know, so I don't want to mess with it. That's why I stuck the pallets here. And then when he wants to come in and grab it, or whatever the case may be, I'm at the point now where I might just call him up and say, hey, I delivered it out by your wood stove, just because I don't want him thinking that he can't come in here because it's too muddy, or him get stuck while I'm not here. So thank you guys. God bless y'all. Remember to poke them buttons for me, and we will see you next time.